Hello and welcome back to the AT Performance YouTube channel. We've been pretty quiet on our channel in terms of content other than our videos of cars for sale that we put up on every advert. It's been a little while, but we thought we'd bring you some fresh content on our cars, our collection we have, the history of them, what we're planning to do with them moving forwards, and just bring you in and show you a little bit about the cars we love and the cars we have. So without delay, this is the first. This is a car I bought in 2017. It's an Evo 6.5 Tommy Mäkinen edition, Scotia white. It's Japanese import. The car was brought over with some top-end engine damage, so that had a full rebuild with forged pistons, steel rods, and a light remap to 300 horsepower. Since buying the car, it had a full machine polish. It had these special colour package graphics applied, which really only belong on the red cars, but I really like them, so I think it looks great. The wheels were refurbished, calipers refurbished, C-Tech exhaust added, which doesn't fit very well, but never mind. And aside from that, it's a stock car. It's an original Tommy Mäkinen. There's 2,500 of these worldwide, 500-ish in each colour. And it's absolutely brilliant, and it's a car that when Chris and myself started working on cars 20 years ago, we worked for a Mitsubishi Rally Art preparation team, and these were nearly new, and that we were absolutely in awe of them at 18, 19 years old. So to be able to buy one seven years ago or so was absolutely brilliant, and unfortunately it doesn't get a lot of use. As you may or may not know, the chassis suffer from corrosion. So this is unsealed. It's a completely bare underneath. It's been cavity waxed. Autotalk have looked after it. Recently had some spark plugs and service and MOT. It's got all the right TME bits on it as well. So it's got the right seats, the original wheels, which have been redone in the correct pearl colour, bodywork, everything like that. It's a proper TME. The only thing that I haven't mentioned is I've added a small Alcantara steering wheel to bring it closer, because I have incredibly long legs and it makes it quite difficult to drive these Japanese cars. But yeah, fantastic car. Haven't got huge plans for this. Would like to go to some events next year in it, some sort of modern classic events, because it always gets loads of attention. It's great to talk to people about the car. People love to see it. But really not going to mess with it. It's got some teen springs on it, which I forgot to mention earlier. But just light stuff that can be reversed quite easily, and just leaves it as a nice original example. So that's the TME. Moving on to the next car. This is something I dreamed of for a long time, one of these. It's an E82 BMW 1 Series M Coupe. There are only 450 of these UK registered in orange, white and black. And this car was purchased at the start of 2023. I saw a particularly badly written eBay advert, which caught my attention. I wasn't really looking for one at the time. And then conversation developed. It was a completely stock car, BMW service history. It just had a clutch at BMW. Which was all revealed when I got there to see it. Terrible pictures, terrible advert. Spoke to the guy, went to see it, and I was really pleasantly surprised that it was a really genuine, nice car. It has had a little bit of paintwork here and there. It's not a concourse car by any means. It's done 74,000 miles, something like that. I think I bought it on 73. Completely stock car. Absolutely wanted one of these for a long time, and had no intentions of changing anything. And then I was on paternity leave and had a little bit of time here and there. And before I knew it, there was a Miltech exhaust, an intercooler, a MHD dongle for remapping. Then Rob from RKP Motorsport was selling these E88s, so they came along, some KWV3s, retrim Recaros with kind of M stripes and Alcantara steering wheel, and genuine M Performance carbon spoiler. That is pretty much where I've got to with this car. I kind of had a vision of how I wanted it to look, and these are the genuine Team Schirmer wheels, the 88s. Put a wheel stud conversion on, and I know purists will be thinking you've ruined it, and it certainly is not an original car now. However, everything is reversible. The seats bolt in, the wheels bolt on, the suspension. I've got all the parts. It could go back to being that. Did a Brands Hatch track evening in this car last year. That was really good, and took it along to a couple of shows at Silverstone, Bicester Heritage, that kind of thing. It's a really, really fun car. It's manual, 6-speed, it's turbocharged, it makes all the right noises, you feel really engaged with it. Hydraulic steering, which I think is key, and all of the cars I have fantastic steering, because I think it's the single most important thing with an engaging driver's car. So, I mean, that's a summary of this car. I have got a charge pipe, I've got some other bits and pieces to go on it over the winter, Alcantara armrest and whatever, just kind of making it into the car I'd like it to be, with a bit of inspiration from others who have kind of customized Porsches and stuff like that. So absolutely fantastic machine. I've made it a bit impractical, but you know, the seats, I need the seats to be much lower and much further back, which I've achieved with those, which is fantastic. Bit of paint protection film carried out, ceramic coating, polish. It's absolutely where I want it. So we'll do a bit more to this, might do downpipes, might do stage 2, get the boost pipe on there, that is a common fault. But aside from that, that's pretty much happy with that one. So yeah, that's the 1M, and let's move on to the next car. So from a very bright orange German car onto the next vehicle, which is another white Japanese car, and a car that's been very special to me, the Evo 9 MR. From working with the Evos on the spanners and the tools all those years ago, loved these. They were brand new when we were working at the garage. You know, they were a serious piece of kit. And this came about this summer. It was in July or August. And to be quite honest, it was a bit of an impulse, which sounds weird, but I was looking for something like a Golf GTI or something like that as a really good fun B-road car, because the TME doesn't really get used very much, and it's a bit special. If someone crashes into you, you can't really find another one, or if you can, it's a lot of money. The 1M is a bit more of a track car and kind of not very compliant, and you know, it's set up on the coilovers. So I wanted something that you could drive the B-roads and drive them quickly and really enjoy, you know, the thrill of making progress along the roads. And this popped up on Facebook, and the chap who owned it, he brought it over from Japan in 2015, and he'd spent an absolute fortune on it. It's an MR, so it's the pearl white, it's not the flat Scotia white. And being an MR, it had the front lip, it had the Bilstein dampers, slightly lower than GSR, 10mm I think, had the aluminium titanium turbo blades. Stitching on the seats is contrast, like red stitching. But then what he did above that is he made an FQ360 evocation, because the FQ360 MR was essentially a Japanese MR brought over by Colt Car Company, Rally Art, from new, and they added their 360 package, which was carbon exterior, the Rally Art gauge pack, Speedline Turini wheels, HKS tuning parts, so remap, exhaust, air filter, that sort of thing. And this car has got all of those things, slight variations. It has an HKS exhaust. It has now the Carbon MR vortex generator and front splitter, which match the rear spoiler. And the gent basically created an unofficial FQ360. So when I saw it, I was like, awesome, yeah, that is exactly what I'm looking for. So did a deal, met the guy at Exeter Services. You know, he filled the tank with fuel. It had all the original parts that he'd removed. Really good stand-up guy. Spent loads of money this year on the underside of it. It has been undersealed. All the componentry's been blasted and taken back and repainted, and it's a really nice example. And I stand by the statement that this is the best car for our B roads. It's got nice chunky sidewall on the tyres, it's got lots of suspension travel, it's got a cable throttle, it's got a manual gear lever, loads of response, loads of grip, loads of traction. You absolutely cannot beat these. They are simply superb. So plans for this one are, I've reversed a couple of bits. This had a carbon vent I didn't like, so I put that back. There are a couple of small bits I'd like to change. I've managed to source a set of the original Speedline Torinis in 17x8, which are very, very hard to find, that came on the FQ360, the UK model. I've sourced a set of those, got a brand new set of tyres on. They're ready to go on, so we'll cover that in another video. The team at Autotalk have done a full fluid service, even though it had one 2 months ago, like an engine oil service. We've done every transmission oil, full check over, MOT. The car is good to go. And yeah, I'm looking forward to keeping this for a long time and putting some miles on it, because it just takes you back to what performance car driving should be. When you compare it to like a modern Mark 8 Golf R, for example, you just don't feel connected. And with this, it's like, you just feel like a petrol head when you're driving it, and you get that emotion that you often look for from a driving experience. So that's the second Evo. More modern, more refined, MyVec engine, smoother, different to the TME, different car, but obviously quite similar. And yeah, that is where we've got to with that one. And I suppose now it's time to show you the fourth and final car in the collection. Okay, so last car, from white and Japanese back to bright and German. This is a 991.1 GT3 Club Sport, which again was an opportunity that kind of presented itself. A good friend, customer, Rob, was moving to a McLaren. We'd kind of flirted with each other a little while about me having this, but I really wanted a .2, and it wasn't really I wasn't really in the position to do that. So we started talking, and he's had both the .1 and the .2, and he said the .2 isn't 40 to 50 grand better than this, and people say the 3.8 in this, although it's had its issues, sounds better. This has actually got the G series engine. They had E, then F. Some of them failed. The cam followers failed. At the bottom, some of the conrods I think failed. They fitted a G series engine in this in 2022, and it's got the Porsche extended warranty on it. So Rob and I were talking, and then he found a new car and was like, look, do you want it? And I thought, well, it's such a nice example. The interior is like a time warp. All the leather's nice and matte. There's no damage on the plastics. All the carbon is nice and glossy. It is absolutely lovely. Full PPF on the outside. Guards red, which wouldn't maybe be my first choice, but it's not white, which is good because I don't like them in white. Spec-wise, it's got the ceramic brakes. It's got the Club Sport package, carbon interior, illuminated door sills. Hasn't got front lift, but you know, I don't think that was a deal breaker for me personally. It does rub occasionally on very steep inclines, but you know, it's not a major issue. Full Porsche service history. It's done about 30,000 miles, so it's not the lowest mileage example. Dynamic lighting system. And yeah, this is a bit of a dream come true really, because I've always wanted a GT3, and it is just as awesome as you can imagine. It's thrilling to drive, intoxicating is a good word to describe it. It revs to 9,000 RPM. It's like being in a GT3 Cup car. You feel like a racing driver. And the PDK gearbox is just so fast. My only criticism is probably it's not as loud as I want it to be. So we're actually going to take this car over to L-World Fabrications, who's going to build a beautiful system for it. We'll update that in another video. It has Porsche warranty, so I don't want to really mess around with it too much. Planning to do some track days next year, get to some Porsche events, go on some drives. Probably not a big Euro tour because the bucket seats make my back hurt. So, but you know, because race car, you have to have bucket seats, especially carbon ones. So yeah, some local stuff, some track days. Looking forward to really learning more about the car and Probably not pushing it, that's probably not the wrong word, because I don't think I'm the driver to push a GT3, but just explore what it's got to offer, because it's obviously such a wonderful machine that, you know, there's a lot to be had. So looking forward to getting the exhaust sorted and just enjoying the car for what it is. Yeah, so that's a look at our collection, the ATP fleet of cars. We're going to be moving forward, we're going to be doing videos on each car, what we're doing with them, taking you along for the journey of modifying them, upgrading them, servicing them, what it's like to own them, and yeah, looking forward to sharing loads of that with you. So thanks for watching today. It's been great to reveal the cars we've got and show you a bit of what we're doing. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next one.